Hi, my name is Ken Brenneman. I serve the Oakland and Bay Area community, and I'm a yoga therapist. I'm pre-recording this short how to celebrate being human practice for those that will be missing my Zoom classes over the next month or so. But I hope this stands the test of time and you can enjoy it anytime, anywhere. Now, I do have a little tutorial for those that might want to spend their time doing a Shavasana in a very unique location. And I will show you with a shared screen how to visit the Reboot Float Centers. There's 3 of them in the Bay Area. One's in Rockridge and Oakland. 2 are in San Francisco. What I suggest is you go to reboot.com. Let me see. And when you're here, you can choose a different location and choose the Marina or the Mission in San Francisco, or go right here to the Oakland location. And what you do is, let's say you want to look down the line. Let's go with a time where I'm out of town and you might be wanting to float. Say you've got a Wednesday time and let's see, find next available day for a float. We've got here on Thursday, October 8th or August 18th, you've got all these options, right? All you need to do is click on there, make a reservation. You can fill in some of the information, create an account, but you won't have to do any payment online. When you get to the float center though, here's the key. I'd like you to offer them this number. Write this down, pull out your phone or notepad, take this number, KB610362. Offer them that code and you get $15 off, and then I get $15 off my next float. I don't really care about my $15. I just hope that if it's your first time floating, you'll go there, spend an hour in a Shavasana in a nice, warm, magnesium, muscle calming experience. You can turn on the light. You can have them play music if you're really new to sensory deprivation, or you can go full on, no lights, no sound, and let the body unwind. A perfect way to unplug, reboot. I usually don't do commercials. But if you go, please email me and let me know how your experience was. Now, on to this short how to celebrate being in human form yoga practice. First thing I'd like you to do is come on up to standing. This will be a very all levels practice. Get in your most dynamic mountain pose. So take a moment to stretch out the arms, ground in the feet, and roll open your heart. This will be your starting meditation. Likewise, if you start this practice, you're like, I don't want to start in mountain pose. I want to be down on the ground. Just come on down to the ground and do a Shavasana. Practice what that will feel like in your sensory deprivation tank. Let's breathe 5 breaths into a tall spine, soft knees, relaxed jaw, relaxed hands. You might breathe in through the 2 nostrils and out breath through the mouth. 3 more of those. Inhale through the nose and let it go. 1 more time, grounding into the feet, lifting up through the top of the head, softening with a. Take your hands in front of your beautiful heart, press the palms together and level out. That energy between the palms, a softening of the rolled back shoulders, and set an intention. Take this time to feel into your body, be with yourself. With an inhale, even if you're on the ground, you can stay laying on the ground. You just want to open the arms, mindful of the space around you. Take that human heart and expand it outward. For now, it's just for you, but the heart energy goes way beyond those fingertips. Stretch out into the arms, the shoulders, and eventually take the hands up over the head, extending up without over-engaging neck muscles. Let's take a deep breath in. We're going to lengthen through the right arm, lower the left hand, and lean off to the left side. You can do the same movement on the ground. Someday I'll have a Velcro wall and I can do Shavasana on the wall for you. Take a deep breath in, feel that openness in the shoulder, and exhale, come back to center, taking the left hand up to join the right hand. Breathe in without overusing the neck shoulder muscles. Soften. And start to lower the right hand down. Let it rest on the outer thigh. Lean up and over. So now the left side gets a little bit of your breath. Extend and open up the channels from the left ankle all the way into the left fingertips. Breathe in, open up the shoulder, and exhale, come to center, this time lowering both arms. Left arm comes down to join the right, shrug the shoulders. I'm going to take a little time to roll the arms back. You might just supportively hold the lower back. And if you're on your back here, you might just let the arms be to the side, walk the shoulder blades underneath you, and come up into bridge. You're standing with me, you can soften the knees, hold the lower back, and just gently stretch out the front body without compromising the well-being of your lower back. Beam open the heart. If the back of the head feels too heavy, just tuck the chin and keep gazing forward. Perhaps pass the computer screen to something that's not pixelated. Breathe into that back body. Notice what it's like to keep the knees soft here. Take a deep breath in, support, tucking the chin, roll up slowly. And notice what it's like to just pause for a moment, sliding the hands down the thighs, keeping the knees bent, and ease into a forward fold. So I'm going to do the gentlest forward fold. Maybe this is only as far as you need to go right now. Untuck the tailbone, and maybe you go a little deeper. Now, this is a wonderful way to honor the human body. Unlike our primate friends, our hands may not touch the ground, and that's okay. If you get deep enough to drag the knuckles on the ground, celebrate that. If not, just hold the legs wherever you can comfortably hold and take a few back body breaths. Breathe in fully and exhale. Make sure wherever you're at, you're not overstraining the neck or shoulders. You're letting it go. As long as we stay in a forward fold, no matter how low the heart is, we want to come up slow enough so the blood circulation shifts from flowing into the brain and softens, and we roll up so that we don't experience any lightheadedness. You come to mountain pose, rest into the feet, and if you just come out of bridge and a hug of the knees, just rest in Shavasana. This is the same place. I can envision you in your float tank right now. Keep the knees soft. Now we're just going to let our body lightly twirl. It's a familiar practice that I often bring in. If it's a warmer day for you, you'll feel the fingertips cool. If you need a little bit of adrenal tapping, let the elbow bend behind you. And also tap right at the shoulder. We're just taking maybe a 30-second pause here. And the twists allow us to bring kind of the water or air elements into the body. Just float and tap. And float and tap. And just let the body ease into not letting see the knees. They sway a little bit side to side, but keep them soft. They don't feel like they get a bilateral angle. It's not comfortable for them. What I'd like you to do is, if you can, close your eyes and let the body slowly come back to some swaying and then eventually stillness. Does this feel somehow different than your earlier mountain pose, softer? Excellent. We're just going to do one balance pose and then come down to the ground. So this might be your chance to take your human form and transform it into a tree, resting the hands at the heart, leaning into the left foot, bringing the right heel into the inner leg, or maybe up to the calf. We want to avoid pressing too much into that inner knee, so we may bring even socked feet can rest into the inner thigh. Rest here without too much leaning off to the left side. See if your human form can form this tree. And do your branches or arms want to extend out into a T, a Y, or more over the head? Extend and sway. Take your time, 3 breaths wherever you are. Can you feel the rooting? Humans need to root too. Can you feel home base? And even when you safely fall out, can there be a playful dance of like, yay, I safely fell out of a pose? Shake out your body. Balance, daily practice of balance, really, really powerful way to strengthen our body, our core, and our minds. We can center our hands at the heart center, bring the left foot, angle it in. Do you keep the toes on the ground? Does the foot climb up a little higher? Let the tallness in this body feel stability. If you notice your toes gripping, try to relax them on the right side. Do your arms want to be in a T, a Y, or over the head? Taking your 3 breaths. Pause. Notice that the mind wanders. Do you feel some ankle wisdom here? And in this last breath, if you fell out the first time, can there be a graceful, even slower deconstructing of tree? Step out, kick out, and do what human forms can do. Walk around, shake out the arms. We're going to let this human body come on down closer to the ground into a seated position. If you do have a blanket or a cushion you want to fold into a seat, it can be super helpful for the seated practice we're about to participate in. I like to create with these folding blankets just a little rectangular shape, sit upon it, and come down. Whether you cross the ankles or you're able to come into butterfly, take a moment here. We're just going to let our body find lift. Maybe our hands hold the edges of the feet or the knees. And perhaps this magical land where butterflies, cats, and cows, and baby Luna here, we can all meet together and coexist. So if your butterfly or crossed ankle position allows you a little cat-cow movement, we're going to float the heart forward, support holding somewhere the shins or the knees or the toes, and then exhale, tuck the chin round, create a little bit more length in the hips, and roll on up. And just find a nice flow, not creating a quick movement, but letting the neck almost have a serpentine quality to it. So now we got butterflies, we got cats, we got cows. We might even have some amphibian or reptile energy here. Go ahead and let the body massage the breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. 1. Just gonna roll on up. That's a long time to hold those inner thighs. So let's scoop up the knees, step the feet to the ground. Just come in for a seated hug. Squeeze in close, widen the back of the shoulder blades. Excellent. We're gonna allow our body time to roll up, create a little cushion. Perhaps if your blanket is in this rectangular shape, we can do just a brief back bend. If you know lying on your back without a back bend works for you, skip this and just come flat onto the ground. We're going to snug the short edge of the blanket into the lower back and lie on down with a slight untuck of the tailbone. You can start out by letting the feet rest into the ground. Likewise, if you're not using a blanket, same setup. Just forget that the blanket is part of the pose. You can let the arms open up for a moment and see where that heart energy can open up your chest. For now, let our knees rock in, lean into each other. And just take 5 breaths to arrive. If you're benefiting from the blanket support, you might feel that the shoulder blades can open up some more. You might feel that the untuck of the tailbone stretches the abdomen just a little bit. With or without that blanket there, you might let the head lean side to side. Just gently rock out the neck. Sometimes being human, the hardest part is getting out of our thinking heads. It's a gift, but it's also a gift we need to respect and build discipline around. So notice what you're thinking of, or notice what you're not thinking of, and celebrate that. If you can stay on this little bit of a blanket, we'll just cross the right ankle over the left. Otherwise, move the blanket out of the way and then come into this first pigeon. All we're going to do is offer a rocking here. Let's keep the arms open in that chest stretch and keeping the left foot on the ground. We might rock our pigeon pose side to side. Notice how it feels in the lower back. Notice what it feels to discipline so that the left foot doesn't leave the ground. It doesn't even come off the edge. That's as far as we need to rock today. Let's slowly uncross. There you go. And then you'll recross, taking the left leg over the right thigh. Just take a moment to settle in there. What does it feel like to offer that hip opening on the second side? Likewise, your arms may have found that they're relaxing some. So maybe you come from that elbow bend to more of a straightened Y shape. So it's like a surprise face when you're riding, say, an amusement park ride. With the left ankle or the right side, just rock side to side a little at a time. Nothing you need to change here. Keep the right foot on the ground. And there we have it. Just a little time to massage our back. Not a lot of intensity. Let our human body find its way to parasympathetic response, where we're just breathing, not needing to respond or react to the outside world. We'll ease that left foot from the right thigh. Take a moment here. If you've been on the blanket the whole time, just want you to roll to one side enough so you can gently reach around. Take that blanket out of the way. Some people do like to have the blanket supporting their neck, just a little lift to the spine. And then invite the knees to the chest. Did the lower back tighten up a little bit there? If so, just honor it. So we're going to do either a restorative butterfly, so the soles of the feet come together, we lower on down, or I think in some of my other recordings, I may have recorded this one too. It's one of my favorite like energy and immunity boosters. It's called a thymus pump. We want to let the soles of the feet come together. And for a brief moment, you can squeeze the thumbs into the inner arch if you can reach there. Even if you're going to only do a part-time version of thymus pump, anytime you want to rest down into butterfly, please take the feet down to the ground. Hands touch and they press to the heart center, fingertips to the sky, toes to the sky. So if someone were to come into the room and say, it looks like a resting bug, but we're still in human form. We're going to straighten the limbs, point the fingertips and toes to the sky. And then exhale, with the heels of the feet point to the root chakra red. And our heels, our hands pointing to the green chakra of the heart. So bring energy up and float energy down. Inhaling expansion and exhaling, making space for that energy you want to invite into your life. So you might speed up or slow down this movement. Notice what it takes to keep the grounded part of the back while we engage our leg, arms, shoulder, hip muscles. Just going to go for about 7 more rounds. Please don't rush through those. Finding the breath that really helps you pump positive energy into your human form. Perhaps you take one last round. And let the body, once you finish up, next round, I want you just to hug in. Bring the knees in close, even wrap the hands around the opposite forearms or wrists. And invite all that energy that your brief thymus pump brought you. Was it kindness? Was it patience? Was it compassion? And take a deep breath into this hug. We're going to exhale and lower the feet down to the ground. Let's take a moment. This might be a repeat if you did Shavasana at the beginning while others were standing. You just want to let one hand rest on the heart and one hand rest on the belly. If you need the knees to lean into each other, take your time to just let the lower back feel supported here. Breathe into how full the ribs feel. Breathe out, exhaling and softening. Even a brief, short stay on the yoga practice Let this be a way to contemplate extending the practice, repeating another sequence, either mine or someone else's on YouTube, or even let your inner teacher decide what might not come next for you. We want to honor this human form, and in a very body-sensitive, trauma-aware way, hug the knees into the chest and see if even just opening the knees a little bit, supported with the hands, feels comfortable enough for you to do so. You can flex the heels up to the sky, catch the edges of the feet, and float into a happy baby. So maybe your baby's not happy. Maybe your baby's content. Maybe your hips are just singing to you. And you float open those hips. And notice where holding the edges of the legs or the edges of the feet is helpful for you. Do you want to rock? Do you want to stay with stillness? Do you feel that in this human form you can celebrate by kicking heels to the sky? You might just take the heels diagonally outwards. You'll feel those hamstrings lengthen in a way. If the hands can't quite reach the feet, we'll just slide the hands down, down, down to the back of the knees. Taking a full breath into that V, that victory, that Jai sensation of just being in the awareness of what your hamstrings, back of your legs might need. We got one more routine here, and the gentlest version is just to have the legs up. You might spin around in a way to let the legs rest on a wall, a sofa with the knees bent, or stay freestyle like I'm going to demonstrate, and just hold the legs right here. You can let the arms rest down to the side and supportively rest into the palms. And this is where it may get a little challenging. We want to make sure if we do some abdominal work here, we're just letting the heels float maybe an inch or so that way, away from the heart center. And then we bring the heels up maybe as high as the hip height. So we're just rocking the heels down. Notice the quads, notice the core working. Please be kind to the lower back, and then rocking the heels up. Resting into the legs and then floating the legs back up. So just letting this be a slight rock without overusing back muscles or neck or jaw muscles. If you're curious about how the abdomen is working here, just having one hand rest there, feel the engagement. Ask the lower back how it's feeling. We'll just count back for 5, for 4, for 3, and 2, and 1. All you got to do is catch the back of the legs. If you're on the sofa or on the wall, you don't have to change anything. Catch the back of the legs, bend the knees, let the feet come down, hug the knees into the chest. What we'll do is we'll squeeze the inner thighs together and just circle the knees together. So letting them move in the same direction. Doesn't have to be a very big movement at all. Go in the opposite direction. As you're checking in with your heart, checking in with your body, checking in with your mind, as those parts of self come together and converge into responding to this question, does my body need anything else before a resting pose? If you find yourself saying yes to what it might need, take your time to get there. And just see as you settle in how the body can get as comfortable as possible. Settling into breath, settling into stillness. And if you're an upright meditator and feel like you'd like an upright seated meditation, that's fine to also honor your body. Every day might be a different experience. Even if you watch the same recording many times, you might do something very different with the body in a given sequence. Let the mind drift into the breath, and let the breath find its way into any of the quieter spaces of the body. And as I read these words by the late Albert Einstein, just let the words, the thoughts wash over you. A human being is a part of the whole called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. A human being experiences themselves, thoughts and feelings, as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. The human task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. Might you let the practice of compassion, if you hold it for the whole universe, for this practice, just hold it for yourself. It may expand outward, but bring it back anytime the heart needs a little awareness, a little reminder. You come to the end of your practice to find that you are welcome to stay in your resting pose for a while longer. Never quite sure what might show up on YouTube after my video ends, but if you take a little bit of time to surrender into what your body is sharing with you now, the wisdom of just asking, what else might I need today? If you are ready to stretch out the body and ease into an upright position, take your time to get there. Breathe into the fullness of this moment, finding the body to find comfort in the breath, find equanimity in the balance. Another quote person from the Goodreads world, C. Joy Bell C. So that's the letter C, Joy Bell, and the letter C. I am not in search of sanctity, sacredness, purity. These are things found after this life. No, in this life. But in this life, I search to be completely human. To feel, to give, to borrow, to laugh, to get lost, to be found, to dance, to love, to be also human. I am humbled to be able to experience this being human with you. I hope that these practices that are here available to you bring you a smile to your face and some warmth to your heart. Look forward to hearing any feedback about these practices. You can always type that in underneath the YouTube video or email me, kjbrenneman@gmail.com. I do hope you will experience a float tank session sometime in your human experience. If you're here, Oakland, Bay Area, Reboot is the place to go. I'll give you that code one more time, just in case you missed it on the front end. It is go to Reboot in Oakland, Rockridge, or the Marina or Mission, and give them this code, KB610362. KB610362. Or just tell them Ken Brenneman sent you, and they'll look up the code for you. It saves you $15 on a float, so I think that gives you about, like, maybe it's a $45 float, but don't quote me. But I hope that you are breathing into being who you are and loving who you are. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for letting Luna rest. Thank you for letting me light a candle for peace and all of humanity and all the species that share this planet with us. I hope to see you again soon. I'm bowing to your wisdom, to your grace. Namaste. Thank you so much. Till next time,